Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the Voices for the Voiceless. Peace and blessings, everybody. Happy Friday. And once again, it's your boy Jay Taylor. Got my sis Blessed Girl in the building. How you doing today, sis?
Hey, bro, I'm good. I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just had a bust a couple swerves, we make sure I sent the links out. I'm slipping. I'm supposed to send you the link, my bad.
It's okay. No, I went in through the studio, so it's all good, bro.
Okay, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, you know, you brought a great topic to my attention. I know it's been a minute since we actually been live, but it's great to talk about it and really shed some light because it was a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And the topic for today is, what do you know about the dangers of vaping? And
Yeah.
man, if you could give us a brief, not going too deep unless you want to, but what sparked your interest with this particular subject?
Well, what really sparked my attention, I told you about a few weeks ago. Like I was just when I was in Georgia, I was just asking God, like, what's going on with like our younger people? Like, why are these kids, like we seeing so many behavior problems in kids, and why are um we just seeing just a huge change in our younger generation as well as adults. And it's like the Holy Spirit just spoke to me and said vaping. And so I began to start doing some research on vaping. And after just like doing, the research and just understanding um the how damaging the side effects are from this one particular product that they promote as if it's a product that's safe for our young kids, and as if it doesn't have any side effects. And I was telling, and as I was reading, it was, it was stating how, there's, disciplinary, teachers are starting to see that vaping uh, has an impact on like um just behavior problems, the like lungs, heart, like it ties into a lot of different things, and it's like it causes irritability. Um, and of course, we're seeing a lot of that with children where they are so like, it's like, what are they so stressed out about? And at one point, I was thinking, like, well, maybe it's the music that has, an impact on, our children and social media. but it's a lot of kids that vape and adults as well, but it's really damaging. And when you really do your research, it'll just kind of shock you on the things that like the chemicals that's in this product, you know? And so yeah, but yeah, and that's why I wanted, I wanted to have this live today to kind of speak on that, because I know it's probably a lot of people that vape. I think I know amongst our culture, it's like 20% that vape, and that's a lot of people, you know. Um, and the kids, they're starting to vape as young as 12 years old. So
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that to my attention because it was a time that I used to vape, for a short period of time, and you would think that they sell them in the stores and it's a alternate to smoking or something of that nature, like what's more of a safer way to you know smoke is to vape, but it's quite the contrary. And you would think that maybe more safer, but actually it's not. And shout out to brother Muse in the building. He said, "Good evening, my brother and sister. Still at work until 1:30 p.m. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, bro." Yeah,
hey, brother Muse.
you only got 20 minutes or so. That's what's up, man. Peace and blessings to you. But yeah, I want to present some videos that you sent to me so we could kind of like, do some commentary on that. And for people that don't know, here's a little information. So
The American Heart Association finds vaping may have long-term impacts on a user's heart and lungs, despite being marketed as an alternative to help you cut back on smoking. After looking at more than 300 research papers focused on vaping and e-cigarettes, doctors found the chemicals may hurt your heart, lungs, brain, blood vessels, gastrointestinal system, and other parts of your body. The AHA says more research is needed. ABC News contributor Dr. Alok Patel joins me now to break this all down for us. Dr. Patel, thanks for coming on. What does this study actually say about the impact of vaping on people's bodies?
Well, Dan, what this study is adding to is a large body of other studies saying that there are some known risks when you are inhaling things like these volatile organic compounds, heavy metals, flavorants, and the high doses of nicotine. And there's a lot we don't know. Now, we've been reporting for years about the direct effects on lungs and what nicotine can do to the body, but all these other chemicals can affect a lot of our organs, from our heart to our lungs to our immune system. And it's especially concerning in young people. If you look at 2017 to 2019, use doubled amongst young adolescents. And I will tell you anecdotally, I have a lot of teen patients who vape all the time. So it's really important that we put out these statements looking at vaping on its own and not just the marketing tool saying that it is quote unquote an alternative to cigarettes. We need to independently look at it and its long-term risk factors.
Now, vaping is often thought of as a safer alternative to smoking cigarettes. Is it?
It's really difficult to make that one-to-one comparison, and the vaping industry does put that out. Now, I would say to anyone out there who's an adult and wants to try this as a way to quit cigarettes, it's important to talk to a health professional and find the option that's right for you. But Diane, the big issue is that this marketing, especially as it's directed to teens, has led some people to believe that, hey, vaping is not that harmful. We simply know that, number one, that's not true. It's associated with a lot of different illnesses, and we don't have enough data, long-term data, to talk about what it could do with respect to cancer and other chronic illness.
And there are, I know, a lot of chemicals in a lot of these e-cigarettes and other vaping issues, but some of them also have more nicotine than regular cigarettes. Critics also say some of those vaping flavors make them more enticing, especially to kids and teens. So how hard is it to quit if you decide that's what you want to do? And what can people do if they're struggling to stop vaping?
It's incredibly difficult to quit, especially with those high levels of nicotine. And as you mentioned, the way these cartridges are designed to have those flavors and to feel a little bit smoother so they're not rougher, we see teens who are vaping continuously, who carry the pens with them and really don't feel any of the harsh effects because it's quote unquote smoother than a regular cigarette. People should look at vaping exactly as an addictive, dangerous tool and seek help if they're having trouble getting off of one. And this involves parents getting involved in the conversation, making sure they're having a judgment-free, open conversation with their teens and saying like, hey, here are the realities. But
y'all kind of want to stop that right there, you know, and add something too, because they make it very convenient too, because you can, in most places, you can vape indoors, you know, like if you at a restaurant or at a, you know, an event, it's no problem. Pull it out your pocket, hit the vape. It's like a vapor, right? So it goes into it's not bothering anybody as far as like, you know, cigarettes have that horrible smell, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the convenience of it is one thing, you know, and I remember like, you know, like even like recently, like I like, yeah, let me hit your vape or something like that. Like it's like a social, you know, thing now where it's just like it's cool, it's in style as well. But didn't know that it had all these different side effects, people mood changing, kids acting out, you know, people grumpy, people feeling like they a little bit, you know, often where they normally be, and maybe due to vaping. I didn't know that.
And one thing I want to add, I'm going to tell you what chemicals that are in the vapes. So we know nicotine is in it, and nicotine is a highly addictive substance that can harm brain development and adolescence. Um, it also has propylene glycol. It's a common food addictive. It's addictive that's also used in antifreeze, paint, solvent, and artificial smoke. Okay, it also has
Antifreeze. Wait a minute. So
yes,
they put the same stuff they put in these vapes in antifreeze?
yep, that ain't all. And then the vegetable glycerin. It's a colorful, odorously slurpy chemical that's used as a food additive. Okay, and then flavorings. So you know some of the vapes have flavorings. Some flavorings like diacetyl are linked to serious lung disease. Okay, and then guess what else is in there? Acetone. Acetone is found in nail polish remover. Okay, not only that, it has what is this? Acetylene is found in weed killer and can cause irreversible lung damage. Then the
Wow.
other chemical that's in there is the second. It's called the colloporol. No, that's it. It's found in cleaning products and bug spray. And then there's another one that's in there. Um, okay, then it's for formaldehyde. It's a cancer causing chemical. Okay, then there's a lot of chemicals in this stuff. And then the other one is acetaldehyde. It's a cancer causing chemical. Then there's glycidol. It's a probable carcinogen. And then there's one called diaphenol glycol, a toxic chemical used in antifreeze that's linked to lung disease. Then there's heavy metals such as nickel, tin, lead, and oh, that's it. But yeah, those are the chemicals that's in this stuff.
Wow. Shout out to Lexington. What up, family? Yeah,
Hey,
man.
Lexter.
It's crazy when you think about it that people are really inhaling something that you put into same chemicals that go into nail polish and weed and feed and stuff that goes into, you know, just all type of household chemicals. Because when you think about what a vape really is, if you were to take it and break it down, it's basically like you smoking on a battery or something. So
Yep.
it's like radiation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, we're not thinking like we thinking it's safe because they sell it over the counter, just like, you know, you go get a piece of candy. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
am heard. She said, I'm at
Hey,
I'm at
sis.
work. Hey, she said, I
Yeah.
listen in. Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, it's it's crazy that, you know, all of these effects that it had. Because, I mean, when you listen to what you just named, like, you know, uh, paint thinner, and you wonder why
Yeah.
certain people moods change when you smoke some of the same chemicals that go into these different things. And it's amazing. I'm gonna kind of let these people finish out. We just got a little bit longer to go.
But I'm talking a lot about teens, even in adults who are vaping a lot. They need to really look at it and say, this is not necessarily a safer alternative to cigarettes. This may be something that they need to quit as well, and that we need to have a broader conversation about with respect to smoke-free legislation and public health initiatives.
So important. Dr. Patel, great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more
Yeah, that was deep too.
Mm-hmm. And
So
see, it's promoted, it's really promoted like it's like this little flash drive, and then like I said, they have all the different like little flavorings. You could get the gummy bear, like blue raspberry, liquid, and this e-cigarette, like it's been out in the market since like 2007. And so it's been around for a while. And so people have gotten addicted to this. Like it's an addiction. And I know because I have family members and I've been telling them, like, hey, like this stuff, I don't think it's any good for you. Like it's not. And I was thinking, like, okay, if you really think about it, and what you were saying earlier about it's like almost like you kind of, smoking on a battery. Like it's really no different than you really turning your car on in your garage and you leaving your garage door down and you're just sitting there inhaling it. Like that's how like damaging these chemicals are and what they're doing. And there has been cases from people that have died from vaping. You know, and it's promoted, like I say, like it's just it's nothing to it, and we wonder why we seeing the behavior changes with kids. And there's a lot. I told you the kids, they've been vaping, a lot of them since they were 12 years old. You got kids that's just now reaching middle school, and now middle school go from sixth grade on up. It's not like it was first through kindergarten through sixth. Now middle school is sixth grade on up. So it's really I just thought that it would be good to just kind of share that because a lot of people don't understand the significance of vaping and what it does to the body, how it breaks it down, how it affects your heart.
I had no clue, and I'm happy that you're giving me this information. I'm like, wow, now I want to play this video because you said a 12-year-old, and I have this video you saying here with a 12-year-old girl vaping addiction. So kind of get into that and add some context to it.
We recently announced a new This Morning campaign to help tackle the dangerous rise of children and teenagers taking up vaping.
Now, our campaign has already been backed by England's Chief Medical Officer, Professor Sir Chris Whitty, and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. And today we're hearing why this issue is so important.
Yeah, like so many teenagers and around teenage age, 12-year-old Sarah Williams admits she was addicted to vaping. But last month, she was left fighting for her life in a medically induced coma after doctors say vaping exacerbated her asthma.
Following that terrifying experience, Sarah is now hoping to walk.
Wow, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go look at this baby. 12 years old. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
A medically induced coma after doctors say vaping exacerbated her asthma.
Following that terrifying experience, Sarah is now hoping to warn others. She joins us now with her mom, Mary, alongside respiratory expert, Professor Nick Hopkinson. Good morning to all of you. Nick, we're going to come to you very shortly. Let's start off with you, Sarah, because obviously so many children are picking up this habit of vaping. How did you get started in it, and did someone recommend you to start doing it?
So I was out with a friend, me and my younger sister. I was 9, she was 7.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who wasn't really a friend. She lived at the bottom of my street, and she was 13 at this time. and she had been vaping, and she had said to me that I should have tried it, and then I tried it. She actually had my younger sister try it when she was 7, but my sister never really. My sister didn't like it, whereas I done it that once and then completely forgot about it. And then as I was in my first year of high school, I started picking up the habit of vaping again.
And just because when you tried it, you liked it, and was it kind of peer pressure from your friends? Was it just kind of the done thing to do?
It was just a trend, basically. Like if you don't do it, then you're not very much liked.
Mary, as a parent, like I can only imagine what it's like, because you're sort of kicking yourself, but at the same time, when we're growing up, it was always smoking, right? Now smoking is so easy to detect. You can smell smoking often. Vaping is so much more serendipitous. It's just
less.
Yeah, we just said that. Like, it's really like you wouldn't know, because it's a vapor. It's like,
Right.
if a child is doing, you would really have to really be paying attention to their comings and goings, and because someone like want to smoke a vape, it has no scent to it, and that's just I know the parent probably mad at themselves for not but it don't really have no immediate side effects. It's not like smoking a cigarette or smoking marijuana, so I can understand how they overlook that.
Right. But bro, that's why it's so important. Like it's like anything that's promoted like that. I've always been curious about vaping because I told you that before. I'm like, bro, like I gotta do a little bit more digging and just kind of like taking the time out to see why this is it's such an addiction, and it's like promoted like it's just like, oh, it's nothing, it's just a little something you puff on it is no it and like I said, they promote it like it doesn't, like it's no side effects to it or anything. And even as a parent, it's just kind of a learning experience to always know when your kids are like and they having these little devices and they're smoking on something. Like as a parent, that is your job to check to even look to see, okay, now what are the side effects from this? Like what is it is promoted, but what damages can it do to my kids? Because a lot of parents, as I was like reading and doing research, they were just saying how they would notice like mood swings with their children, like anxiety because it causes depression, learning disabilities because it affects the brains. It's like when you're, I mean, you got weed killer in this, you got all these other different um acetone in there. Like, of course, those are hard chemicals. So it's gonna affect your heart, your brains, your lungs,
Wow.
and
And
that's when,
like you said, like who would have knew unless you did your research? Obviously, like you have, sis, like you would not know none of this, like weed killer and all that is. I don't even want to touch another vape after hearing that.
I'm telling you, and I just thought it was good to bring the awareness because it's not talked about. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talk about vaping. It's just like now it's like an everyday thing. Like oh yeah, there's nothing with vaping. It's just
Yeah,
and not
everybody
realizing
vape.
a lot of people vape. They do.
Yeah, you
They
be
do.
in Walmart, people pulling out their vape. You be, at the grocery store, it's like nothing. Everybody, and then nobody's really knowing the detriment that it's doing, and people wondering why they having mood swings or why they not feeling right, or you smoking paint thinner. You know what I'm saying?
You smoking paint thinner, you smoking acetone, you smoking, it's so many other, a chemical that can lead to cancer. It's a lot that goes on with that. And and like I say, now they got it where now they, I think they have it like now where they put the weed in the vapes, and they have all these different flavorings and stuff, and you have to think these are chemicals, like they're literally chemicals. And so after a while, people start to get addicted to it. Like, they're more addicted to that as a person that is, that has been a cigarette smoker, because now you notice and I was talking to one of my friends about it. I'm like, the thing with that is like with cigarettes, it's like, oh man, you got that cigarette smell. Like cigarettes is just bad for you, And it's like I think that people had a lot of, Americans had gotten addicted to cigarettes as well. Like you have a lot of heavy chain smokers, cigarette smokers. So it's like, okay, so what can we implement now that can take the place of cigarettes, but it's just as damaging, but we're not going to promote it as if it's a damaging product. We're not going to promote it as if we're not going to promote the side effects. We're just going to put it out there and, in hopes that people don't really do their research on it. And by the time they do their research on it, it's a little too late because they've gotten addicted to it.
That's deep. Yeah, they went on ahead and packaged it up, make it look real pretty. And then by the time people realize it, it's like, man, I'm addicted to it now. You know what I'm saying? What you want me to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they put just enough nicotine in it to keep you hooked. Is what it seemed like. And then they add the different flavors so it tastes good. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I said, I've smoked vapes. I used to smoke them more than recently, but I just kind of fell back off of them because I don't know why. But like I said, every once in a while I probably would grab a vape here and there. Socially, you know what I'm saying? Like if my friends, me and the guys going out to have a few drinks, why not go grab a vape? You know what I'm saying? And they got them at the smoke shops, like they're very accessible at gas stations. They are everywhere. They at the airport, wherever you at, you can get you a vape. They make it so accessible. That's crazy. But yeah, I kind of want to, tap back in, hear this girl's story some more. I was just so sad seeing that image of this baby in the hospital like that.
Yes, they're doing it in front of you.
Exactly.
You can't actually sense that they're doing it. You just sort of have to be vigilant, but you can't follow them about 24 hours a day. So with Sarah, when she was caught, when she was 9, she was grounded, her phone took off her, things like that. And she never looked back. So then when she was starting secondary school,
It's a shame that so many people gain weight with metformin, especially when a homemade trick lowers blood sugar levels in just a few days.
She had been hanging about with the ones that were, so I knew then to keep an eye on her. As I say, they're getting it in school, they're doing it outside of school, they're doing it on their way to school, from school. They're hiding them everywhere. There's ones that's allowed, so they can take theirs home and give it back to them the next day.
Did you ever find a vape on her or see the box in the bin or anything like that?
Found vapes on her quite a few times, and of course you get all the excuses. Oh, that's my friends, that's this, that.
Yeah.
So
I would usually share them with my friends. We would put our money together, or else we'd just share them because there's certain friends whose mummies would let them, so you could buy them off their friends. Or else you just go in, because there's certain shops that would serve young ones.
Yeah.
And me and my friend got one and we had shared it, so she had taken it home with her.
Oh, so you didn't have anything on you, so it didn't look like you vaped?
Yeah. So she brought it in the school, and then I would have had it during school hours, and then because we would have got the bus together to school and coming home, and we would have met each other in the toilets because we get toilet passes, and we both had a toilet pass, so we'd text each other and be like, go to the bathroom now, I'll bring it down.
Wow, so they said they were so addicted to it, it's just that they was finding ways to sneak it into school and go to the bathroom and get their vape on. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. But I think we've seen enough of that. I'm so happy that they did get a chance to catch it before it got too late. I mean, I know she was in a coma and everything like that. 12 years old, man. And kids that age, their immune system are so strong. So I think that the effects of us older adults would be more detrimental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it. Because one thing about kids, like you said, their immune systems are strong. Their hearts are, a little bit stronger because the older you get, the weaker your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get on up in age. So when you add in this on top of that, then yeah, it's really like taking a lot of people down slowly but surely, and people don't really understand that It is like what they're, basically inhaling. And again, I told you it's like over 20% of uh of us that vape. And on top of that, we're the second race that actually is the highest with vape, because the first race is the American Indian and Alaska Native. They vape. They're 11.5%. But the
Oh,
black
so Native Americans, they vape. They the highest demographic of people
they
that vape.
are they
Wow.
are, and then we are the second. Black African Americans are the second. We're at 7.0%, and this was
Yeah, I
as
see.
of 2024.
I
So
see a
yeah.
lot of people, like not just black people, white people, like Chinese people, Mexican people. I see every demographic of people, and I'm like, man, I want to start a class action lawsuit. I thought this stuff was safe. You selling it over the counter, like,
Yeah,
man.
they sell it over the counter as if it is, but I think it entered the market without any type of pre-market approval. So I don't even think they had to get it market approved, you know?
Right. Because like on a pack of cigarettes, they'll have the disclaimer on there, like it may affect this, it may do that. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if vapes have that warning. They probably do. I don't know. Never paid attention to it. But but if they do in the small print, they'll be like, well, it's on there. That's how they cover their tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what they'll do is, because do the vapes, do they come in like a little box? And then you take it out?
Yeah, then it'd be
okay. So it probably is not on the vape itself. What it is, it's on probably, if you look at the fine print on the box that it comes out of, there's probably some type of little fine print there. And people don't read the fine print. You just get this and you charging it up, or you doing whatever, and yeah.
Yeah,
So
because you
you're
think
not
about a lot
really.
of them they're rechargeable. So, you charge them back up, you keep them for a long time. But when you think about it now that you saying that, that's all radiation. That's what they're
It's
not like. That's
radiation.
outside
That's
of the
it.
chemicals. You know what I'm saying? So it
Yep.
makes you, what you're saying, it make you look at it from a totally different dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, eat too, bro. Check this out. Vaping is bad for your teeth too. People would not realize, but see, that goes to show you, because when you smoke cigarettes, what the cigarettes is bad for your teeth too. So vaping, what it does, it reduces the saliva, which is important in protecting your teeth. So you need that saliva, to really protect the teeth. You need that. So then you become, if you don't have that, you have the bacteria that cause like teeth decay. So then your teeth will start decaying.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
deep. Man, we need to get together and do something about this, man, because this is, and then people, it's not only affecting your health physically, but it's also affecting your health mentally and emotionally. And, that's insane. I want to also, this is the last video I got today on this subject, with this doctor telling the truth about vaping. So let's check that out.
Vaping is safer than smoking regular cigarettes. Although it's believed that vaping is safer than smoking regular cigarettes, it is still not safe to do. This previously healthy young woman developed a
So he's saying that it is maybe a little bit safer than smoking cigarettes, but still not safe. Just to be clear, because I was wondering about that, like which one is worse, you know what I'm saying? So it's safer than smoking cigarettes, but it's not much more.
Fungal pneumonia after chronic vaping. And a normal chest x-ray like this, where the lungs are normally black because there's a lot of air in them, turned completely white for her. There are a lot of unknowns with vaping because there's so many substances in the vape liquid that we just don't know anything about. So be healthy, be alive, and don't vape.
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think it's about the same. And the reason I say that is because it has literally the side effects. It does damage. What does cigarettes do? It damages your heart. It damages your lungs, and it has significant effects on your brain as well. Like, so I think that vaping is like like we said, it's kind of like another substitute for cigarettes, because a lot of people that are addicted to cigarettes, they have to have that nicotine. So it's like,
Right.
oh well, man, we have this new product now. Hey, it's nicotine, but it's not as bad. But in actuality, it is, because it becomes addicted. You become addicted to it. And on top of that, the same thing with cigarettes. Cigarettes mess up your teeth. You know, um,
Mhm.
it messes up your teeth, and that's the same thing with vaping. It does the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. So about neck and neck. I would say it's gonna be difficult for people to, people they really enjoy vaping. It's gonna be difficult to register this information. It's difficult for me, when you brought it to my attention. I'm like, what, vaping? Like, but
Mm-hmm.
I think if you do it, just do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? And because anything that's addictive, it's hard to say you can't just stop automatically, but just try to decrease your usage, and eventually you could probably wean yourself off of it. I would think the worst times to do vaping is at night, or probably when you first wake up. I think if you do vape, probably do it socially, and then eventually you could probably try to wean yourself out. Because anything that you do right before you go to sleep and right when you wake up, I think has the most effect on you.
I'm with you, noobs. I'm with noobs on that. If you're gonna smoke anything, and you got to literally with that, be careful with weed. It's just they putting everything in the weed now, and it used to be with weed. It was just the natural. You grow just the natural plant, and it was okay. No side effects or anything. If anything, it just makes you hungry. And you're probably sleepy, because a lot of celebrities that are on stage, that's why you see a lot of them. They smoke weed, and they smoke it because they're of their anxiety. It calms you more. I don't smoke weed, but I got family members that do, and we kind of talk about this stuff. And they was telling me how it just mainly calms them. So I know when I see Snoop Dogg, he always smoking. He's smoking, and then I'm like, okay, so I see he's a performer. He's on stage, but I'm sure what he gets, is probably like the natural. But now they're just adding all this other stuff in there. Like, you can get all types of this flavor: mango weed, purple weed. I'm like, why is it just weed? Like, you adding all these different flavors, which lets you know it's some other chemicals that they're putting in this weed.
Yeah, that's true. Dude said that's true about some folks are doing with weed. I get mine from legit places in the state, and that's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's government sealed, you know what I'm saying, opposed to you don't know where you're getting it from. And then in America we got this fentanyl problem going on, and you just want to be careful if you do indulge where you're getting your product from. You know what I'm saying? But right here in Illinois, it's legal. In most states, I think they're legalizing it. So if I would suggest to definitely, be mindful where you're getting it from. If your weed man is trustworthy, then just stick with your weed man. If you've been going through him for 25 years, you might be all right. But the information is powerful, sis, and I'm glad you brought that to our attention. I dropped the link if anybody wants to weigh in on this conversation. Other than that, I think we got a lot of information out there for the people to think about and ponder on. We didn't want to be too long with this live. We just wanted to inform the people what we come across, and we want to make America great again, but we also want to make America healthy again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
Any
I just say, for anybody that you have children or family members, or if you doing it, just stop. Like, literally try to go cold turkey on and find, maybe get with your healthcare provider to see if there's any type of things that they can, they may have alternatives, to help you to wean you off of it, or if there's any type of substance. But most of all, if you can, just pray and ask God to take the taste away from you, take the addiction away from you, because it's really having some effects on. I'm seeing now more about younger children, because I was telling you, like, why are these kids acting out? Like, I understand it, but it's like a lot of them are vaping, and it causes behavior problems, it causes learning disabilities, and irritability. It's all of that, mood swings. So yeah.
Yeah, we got Brother Noobs in the building. How you feeling, bro?
What's up, man? Yeah, not just vaping, man. I wish I could quit smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to smoke, and it's a nasty habit, man, and try to shake. I smoke cigars now, and that's another one I need to slow down on. It's something that you enjoy. I know it's hard to quit cold turkey, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we got to think about our health and think about how it's affecting us. And with all these different chemicals in these vapes, I would argue that may be more even damaging than even cigarettes or cigars.
Yeah, I know that's true. Yep, I know that's true. I could never. I mean, when that whole thing started up and everything else, it actually started in the marijuana industry. I mean, at least from my perspective, that may not be the actual start, but I mean, all those little, pens and stuff with the tinctures in it and everything. That's where I noticed them first, and then all the people, coming out in the vape, these big old, they look like steam engines and stuff. And I think I tried it once, and this is coming from a smoker. I could not hack that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I thank God. I don't know, because I never I've never smoked or anything. Like, I haven't. I don't have the desire or urge to do any of that. But I have family members that do. So I can only imagine, because I got a family member that is literally just smoking for so long. And the thing about it, let me tell you how crazy this is. Like, I had been praying and asking, like, because I'm a very religious person. I was praying and asking God, like, Lord, just please take that, that taste out of his mouth, because it's actually my brother. I was asking God, please remove that taste out of his mouth. Like, I want you to deliver him from that addiction. And it literally took him to have a near death experience for him to just quit cold turkey, because he literally was on the verge of death. And the doctor told him, like, if you probably would smoke another cigarette, you probably would die. And that's how bad it was. And so, like, I didn't know how, God was gonna remove that taste, or how it was gonna be done, but it had to be, because had he not had that experience, he would have kept smoking. But it's addicted. That's why I'm like, I feel bad for people that do. I never look down on anybody that has an addiction, because I think at some point we smoke. Hey, I like Sprite. Sprites are not really good. But I try to get better at, like, okay, I don't need this. It's not good for me. You really even have to question sometimes water now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's in that. But anything that I feel that I can bring awareness to, and I'm always researching to see different things, and how it's harming the body, and what it's doing to, like, our children, or because like I say, we've never seen our kids this out of control. Like, it's just to the point where now, and a lot of this stuff is linked to vaping.
It's a lot of the chemicals that you said was just astonishing to me. Weed killer, paint thinner, stuff.
And with cigarettes has always been cigarettes. You understand? They're not adding and subtracting from the cigarettes.
Oh no, they are. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Just about every package of cigarettes that you buy off of the counter has got fiberglass in it. What's the fiberglass for? It makes little cuts in your lungs when you smoke it, so that you can absorb the nicotine. Now, now that stuff over time was messing me up. And I'm like Jeff. I smoke cigarettes, but it's tobacco smoke. Okay, it's tobacco, just plain tobacco. And I roll my own, because
Mm.
dude, the stuff that was in the cigarettes off the counter. Now I still buy, like when I'm on the road and that sort of thing, I'll buy a pack of cigarettes so I don't have to roll as I'm going. But man, if I smoke like even half a pack of those cigarettes on a trip, I can feel it. I mean, I
Yeah,
can feel like the pressure, And so now I'm not trying to tell anybody that what I'm doing is any better. Not at all. It's just, what I've found, over the years that I've enjoyed, is just rolling the straight tobacco and smoking that. And honestly, I don't want to quit smoking. I want to get to a point where, I'm just like that old guy, at the end of the day, he sits down next to his fireplace and he has his like one pipe a day. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
what I would like
Yeah.
to get to.
yeah. I remember
Yeah.
my grandfather. He had a pipe. It's the tobacco pipe. He used to just. I think that was a safer way. You had less chemicals. It was just straight tobacco, and
Mm-hmm.
and I really did when he used to smoke it. A lot of people didn't like the aroma, but I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? When my grandfather
Yep.
used to do that, to bring back memories. But
Yep.
I would
Y'all
say,
heard that menthols are coming back, right?
raw. Wow, really? Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's already signed, sealed, and delivered. So you're gonna see menthols again. And
Mm.
you know, and when I was a kid, that's what I smoked was those Broport menthols. And man, when they got rid of those and I started going on to something else, even then I could feel a change because those things are heavy.
Yeah. Menthol is it has a lot of, and it's very, very addictive. The
Yep.
menthol.
It's like smoking a Marlboro Red with menthols. You
Yeah,
know, it's like the heaviest thing that you could smoke in a cigarette, I think.
yeah, man.
And
But
not
yeah,
only that, too, they're bringing the menthol back. So it's like, okay, what are you adding into that now?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's see. We still got what uh 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 JFK Jr.'s confirmation coming up here. Let's see what he has to say about, what folks are putting into things, because that's a hot topic for him.
yeah. Oh, so he's already been addressing that.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, I'm very excited that RFK is taking on the health industry. They're giving them a hard time, but
Yep.
I think as far as the food and all the chemicals, like we know, like a box of cereal, for example, has so many different chemicals in it in America, opposed
Yep.
to the other countries. They have maybe 25 different chemicals in our box, and maybe only 5 in England or something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm standing here holding in my hand, and this is kind of funny because of how I found out about it. I was sitting here, doing the YouTube thing one night and watching something about RFK, drinking my cherry Kool-Aid, and they said, oh well, the the whatever letter agency is, the FDA or whatever that's in charge of all of this stuff, they've been talking with RFK, and so they have already outlawed the red 40 dye. You guys familiar with that? The
No.
coloring that they put in a lot of stuff, it's a red dye. Well, now it's been outlawed. I'm sitting here looking at this pack of Kool-Aid that I was drinking when I found out, that's like the third ingredient.
Wow.
Yeah, so hold on to your Kool-Aid, man, because those are going to be antiques. Anything with red dye number 40 in it.
Yeah, I use a lot of zero sugar products, and I don't know if that's any better, but like if I want some Kool-Aid or something sweeter, I use those zero sugar products, low carbs, no sugar, and
Yeah.
it kind of tastes the same. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think it's a healthier.
But you have to watch that too, because what it is, it's almost like because my dad is a diabetic, and we were trying to find things that
Fake
the
sugar.
Minute Maid lemonade, the zero sugar in it,
Yeah.
and it may not be the sugary that we think, like for instance, like the
Right.
what you call it, sugar, the just the regular white sugar, but
Yeah.
there is a different type of sugar in there. You know,
Right.
it's not like they're not substituting it, but they're
Yeah.
but FDA, in order to get it approved, it's not like, you know, oh, it's sugar. It may be another name for sugar. You understand? But it's
Right.
the same thing, but they substitute
Right.
it. Yeah.
And
So
and
that's
I'll
just
tell you something. And I'll tell you
uh-huh.
something. When you are making like your own drinks and that sort of thing, and you are using like refined sugar to make your iced tea, to make your Kool-Aid or whatever, you know, as with all of the bad shadow and connotation and everything that is on sugar these days, because as Americans we just consume too much of it. It's still better for you than the corn syrup that is in all of the drinks that you buy out of the cooler and off the shelf in the grocery store. Sugar is better for you in that form than in the form of corn syrup or any of that other stuff, because Coca-Cola doesn't have sugar in it anymore unless you buy it from Mexico. It's got corn syrup in it.
Yeah, that corn syrup.
All of that, all of those oils and things like that they concentrate, like corn oil and canola oil and everything else, is way worse for you than just pure sugar.
Yeah, high fructose and syrup and all of that. It's terrible.
I mean, I've gone to just making iced tea mostly, you know, and if I
Mhm.
want it sweet, then I'll put sugar in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when it comes to that, all things in moderation. As long as,
Yeah.
like you said, you making it your own to your taste. It's much safer and healthier that way.
Right. And the problem that we have right now is right in line with what you're saying. Because if you're somebody who is consciously making an effort to take all things in moderation, but everything that you buy from the store has the same crap in it over and over, well, now there goes your moderation. You might have thought, well, you know, I'm gonna have, you know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of these, and come to find out that all three of those things got the same crap in it because it's processed food that you bought from the grocery store.
Yeah, and RFK got to get confirmed so we can start to address these issues and clean up our food industry. I mean, I think Americans, we are like one of the sickest nations in the world right now.
Yeah, and I think that comes with a lot of that comes just with the sense of entitlement and instant gratification that we've developed in this country.
Yeah,
I mean,
most definitely.
when you had to go out and grind the wheat and make flour and then make your hamburger buns and then, you know, do all the stuff, you know, necessary to make, like, you know, an American hamburger back in the day. I mean, you already burnt like 4,000 calories just making it, you know.
Right. Definitely. Well, y'all, I mean, this has been a very informative live. You know what I'm saying? If anybody wants to final thoughts, we're getting a little shy of 55 minutes. Any final thoughts? And then we'll close out.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
go ahead.
Oh, go
You go
ahead.
ahead, bless girl. No, you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just I'm glad we was able to have this live today and just, you know, put out the information for people to just be aware of just some of the things that, you know, we're putting into our bodies, and hopefully, you know, pass this information on to family members, friends, or whatever that, you know. And also, you know, maybe if you're having you see that your children are having behavior issues, and you know they may be vaping, you know, and you may not know they're vaping, or you may know they're vaping but not realizing the effects that this have on children, not only children, just adults. So just thank everybody for stopping by today, you know, ones that did. And yeah, that's it. I hope everybody have a blessed weekend and a safe weekend.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the only thing I got, and it occurred to me while Bless Girl was talking. I mean, um, at least, and you know, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to be a parent because everybody's got a different way to do things. But I mean, with my kids, they were all given the opportunity when they turn 18 years, you know, to make the decision about, you know, whether or not they wanted to try, you know, marijuana, because, you know, the old man smoked it. And so what kind of a hypocrite am I to say that, hey, you can't have that in my house, you know, whatever. So when they turned 18, in the comfort of their own home, you know, around people that can be trusted is where they could try it. And I don't know. I think what I'm getting to with that is everybody with their kids. I think if you start like really early, just setting that bar, you know, because I started when they were young. Hey, you can't smoke this shit. It is not good for you. Whenever you are 18 though, and you're old enough to make the decision, if you want to try it, you know, I'm there with you.
Right.
You know, and so for me, that worked because none of my kids did any of that shit until, you know, that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and so and I actually had one of my kids, you know, they turned 18. They was like, nope, not into it, not interested. You know, thanks, pop, but you know, I got other things. You know, which is completely cool. You know what I'm saying? But if I still feel like if I had not waited that time, if I had not forced the wait to that time at a younger age, maybe she would have come up with a different decision, you know, because, you know, to be one of the cool kids or something. I don't know, you know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I think that's definitely effective.
yeah.
Giving them the option so they don't have to sneak and do it.
Exactly. And that's what I didn't want. I didn't want them sneaking off to some friend's house and again get too much of something that we don't know what it is, you know, and then end up getting taken advantage of. You know, I'm one of those dads that just has the horror stories running through my head all the time.
As a parent, you do, because of the world we're kind of living in now versus the way things used to be. Now it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just everything. You just never know what. I even tell my kids what they want. They have a headache. No, you take your headache. Don't take a pill from nobody. I
Right.
mean, you just never know. So you always keep you ibuprofen on you, Tylenol. Here you go. That's it. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
And I always had the drink discussion with my kids too. I was like, don't go nowhere and leave a drink sitting down and then come back to it. If you walk away from a drink, that drink is dead to you. Don't touch it.
That's right. That's true. Did you see where not to cut you short, but I shared a post the other day where this guy had ordered his son ordered food from DoorDash,
Mm-hmm.
and he started like shaking, I guess like having a seizure. They took him to the hospital. Come to find out that whoever the DoorDash driver was put fentanyl in it.
Man, I will never, ever, ever in my life pay somebody a couple of dollars to handle my food from a restaurant
Yeah,
to my would never occur to me to call one of those services.
yeah. Did you hear that, bro?
Jeff. Oh, did we lose Jeff?
He probably stepped away for a minute. But yeah, I was actually looking at it. I'm like, wow, like, and that they said that I guess they was able to
Yeah,
test
I'm
it.
back,
He
y'all.
ordered
My
it.
bad. I had to.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Noobs. Did you hear what I was telling Noobs about the guy that ordered DoorDash food? I had shared the post the other day.
Yeah, I
But
heard about that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
he put fentanyl in it, and he ordered it from Taco Bell.
Oh
And they
man.
was able to test it from the cup that that he had, and it was fentanyl put in the drink.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Dude.
terrible, man.
Dude. I'd be hunting that guy down. I'm
yeah.
Yeah.
serious. I would be so pissed I would hunt him down.
Actually, I think they did. They did arrest him from
Yeah.
what I was looking at through some of the. Yeah, the father. It was a gentleman. It was his son that was in the hospital, and he was responding, and he said that they did catch the guy or
Oh man.
whatever, and they had
Because
him in custody.
I'll tell you, I never got into drugs because it scares the crap out of me. You know, I might find something I
Mhm.
like. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
and so I just stayed out of that. And then, you know, if I go someplace to get food and find out that dude, I'd burn that place to the ground. I'm telling you right now. If I come out of a
Mhm.
restaurant and found out somebody put a drug in my food, I would burn that mofo down.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's serious, man. That's serious. Got to be careful on these apps. Got to be careful. Even in the stores, I like to see what the people are preparing in front of me. And if I'm in the
Uh huh.
in the in
Yep.
the drive-through and somebody get irate with the people that's preparing the food, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, y'all. They ain't got nothing to do with me. So they
I'm
ain't gonna do
telling
nothing to
you.
my food.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
But these 2 Molotov cocktails are for you, though.
Exactly.
I made them special for your birthday.
Yeah, you just have to be careful nowadays. It's definitely ain't like it used to be. So the only thing we can do, yeah, you want your kids to be kids, but you just, also want to, bring the awareness and if you don't have to uh be with nobody that's drinking, smoking, or whatever, because you just nowadays you have to be careful. There's so many kids now,
Yeah.
that's dying from fentanyl. These kids don't know that this stuff is in. They're putting this stuff in
A lot
weed,
of
and they're
times.
putting it
Yeah.
in, certain pills, and they're trying to try certain things, and they end up passing away from it, and they claim it's an overdose, but it's just flat out murder.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. Yeah.
All right,
But
y'all, man. I've had a great time. We had an hour. It's been very informative. Whoever catch the playback, please like, share, subscribe. Voices for the voiceless. We appreciate everybody coming through and chopping it up with us. I hope that you found this live very informative and educational.
Yep. Thanks, News, for stopping by with us today as well.
Appreciate News, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
guys. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
All
we'll
right.
be scheduling it live pretty soon. I'm gonna get with Mika and we'll let everybody know when we be back.
All righty. Y'all have a safe and blessed weekend.
All right, you too, everybody.